And speaking of Justin Timberlake, let's talk about his leaked DWI arrest report. So Justin Timberlake's leaked arrest report reveals that the Love Stone singer had a pricey wristwatch, a vape pen, and over $300 in cash on him. Excuse me, when he was arrested on DWI charges on Eastern Long Island in June. Now, Justin Timberlake reeked of alcohol and was unable to follow police instructions correctly when he was pulled over under suspicion of drunk driving in the Hamptons in June, according to the Daily Mail. The singer was arrested and charged with DWI on June 18th after he was spotted running a stop sign while behind the wheel of his BMW X7 in Sag Harbor. Now, Timberlake, who's 43, refused to take a breathalyzer test, and his attorney last month claimed that he was not intoxicated at the time of the arrest. But police documents obtained by the DailyMail.com lay bare new details of how the now infamous traffic stop, which saw the pop star fail a series of sobriety tests, refuse a chemical test, and ultimately arrested in the affluent summer resort town. And there was a whole lot of craziness that he was trying. Damn, I didn't even pull up the photo. Hold on, because I even got the receipts of the actual DWI photo situation, like even down to the police reports. I don't know how the hell Daily Mail got a hold of it, but they did. Please hold, and then I'll scroll over as we go through the whole article. So it says, according to the report, the former NSYNC star was pulled over shortly after midnight by 24-year-old rookie police officer Michael Arkinson, who allegedly witnessed him blow a stop sign and swerve in the right lane. The police paperwork shows Timberlake verbally refused the test 3 times and even refused the initial document confirming the decision. So yeah, there goes the paperwork right there in case y'all need to see. I'm like, kudos to the people that was able to get their hands on that. I'm thinking they leaked it because Justin Timberlake attorney tried it and they were like, oh no, sir, checkmate. So Arkinson's handwritten notes appear to show that the officer followed procedure in the field, determining that Timberlake displayed numerous signs of intoxication, such as swaying on his feet, turning the wrong way, and being unable to keep his balance. All this off of a Vesper Martini, according to him. The report states Timberlake was alone in the car and was observed to have bloodshot and glassy eyes, odor of alcohol beverage and emanating from breath, inability to divide attention, unsteady afoot. Now, the whole thing of the bloodshot eyes, we do know that is true because remember, we saw the mugshot. Case in point, let's go back to the original picture. When you look there, you could definitely see them eyes as bloodshot. And we said that from the beginning when we saw it. Now, let's go back to the other paperwork. Because there's multiple pages. Okay, so now they said the officer quoted the singer saying, I had one martini and followed my friends home. He also noted that Timberlake was unable to focus on speaking while looking for vehicle registration. The walk and turn test requires the defendant to take 9 steps in a straight line, each time placing his heel directly in front of his toe, then to turn and repeat the process. According to Arkinson, Timberlake was very unbalanced and was unable to follow instructions correctly. Next, Timberlake was asked to raise one foot slightly off the ground and keep it raised for 30 seconds without moving. Arkinson reported that Timberlake swayed while taking the test, needed to use his arms to keep his balance, and put his foot down before the required 30 seconds had lapsed. The 4th test in the field was the pre-scene breathalyzer that Timberlake refused to take. Probably because he knew it, but all the other things that he was asked to do, he's like, damn, I am fucked up. I ain't trying to take that breathalyzer. But you failed everything else. So he knew if he took a breathalyzer, he'd be caught. So while the results of his breath test are not admissible in court as evidence due to the unreliability of the test, it does add to probable cause leading to an arrest. Timberlake refused, Arkinson wrote. So yeah, there's more paperwork. So please hold as we scroll. So this is the other paperwork that we have where it says steps offline. It says 9 steps, 2 to 3. And then second 9 steps, he did it 9 times 10, 11, 12, so whatever. I don't understand all of that. And they said he turned wrong way, used heel. So you see that there. And then there's, why is there like a little smiley face drawation situation here? Like, what is that? But anyway, let's go back to the other T. So they said that their Arkinson took inventory of Timberlake's property, which included a Rolex watch, a black vape pen. What's in that vape pen? Is it weed? Because, they do that. They have like the regular vape stuff, and then you have the marijuana. Because I have vape with weed. That's what I'd rather do rather than the whole roll up situation. So they said that, yeah, they had a vape pen, a gold ring, a wallet, which contained three $100 bills. I'm glad somebody still walks around with cash because I do that too. It's like, even when I have cards, I still keep cash on me. They said he also had one $5 bill and one single. He also asked Timberlake to take a breath test at the police station, the results in which are admissible as evidence. But according to the officer's report, Timberlake refused again and wrote on the report, "No, I'm not doing a chemical test." By 1:26 in the morning, he was read his Miranda rights and told Arkansas that he understood them and that he did not want to speak without an attorney. Which I guess he watching the Law and Order to know you don't talk without an attorney. The new details of the report came after Timberlake was rearraigned on the DWI charge in a virtual court appearance last Friday. During the hearing, Judge Carl Arachi, I think is his name, suspended his driver's privileges in New York, citing his refusal to take a breath test during the arrest. Appearing via video from Antwerp, Belgium, where he performed on Saturday, Timberlake again pleaded not guilty to one charge of driving while intoxicated. Okay, so though we could leave it there for that. So it said the judge not specify how long the suspension will last. Because I'm like, how long is it going to be? Like, is it indefinitely? Like, do I need to appeal it to find out? Like, how long is the suspension going to last? So they said the hearing came after attorney Edward Burke Jr. had sought to dismiss the case last week, citing errors in the original charging documents in Timberlake's arrest. But the judge instead ordered the singer-actor to be rearranged today under the new revised paperwork filed by prosecutors. Burke withdrew his original motion to have the case dismissed during the hearing on Friday. Sag Harbor Judge Carl Arachi also admonished the attorney over his comments at the previous court hearing, calling them irresponsible. The lawyer had spoken to media outside the courthouse after the July 26th hearing, insisting Timberlake hadn't been intoxicated on the night of his arrest. It also comes off as an attempt to poison the case before it even begins. And this is why they were saying that this is why the judge made an example out of Justin, because Justin's lawyer was running around speaking to the press and trying to taint the situation before you even went to court for the hearing to hear where the judge was going to stand in regards to the situation. So in a way, I feel like Justin's own lawyer fucked up his situation and made it bad for him. So another hearing is scheduled for next Friday, August 9th. So that's literally tomorrow, in which the singer will not be required to attend. But they did say that he may be ordered to appear in court in person for future hearings in the case. So they're probably working around when this whole tour and everything is over, they'll find a way to bring him in. So his Forget Tomorrow tour is still going on in Europe. They said he performed in Berlin on Wednesday, has another sold-out concert scheduled for on Saturday in Antwerp, and he's scheduled to be back in the U.S. for a show in Newark, New Jersey on September 13th. And it's no surprise that Timberlake hired Burke to represent him in the case. So for people who are not familiar with who Edward Burke is, he is known as a go-to attorney when celebrities and their rich and powerful get busted in the Hamptons. And, he's his skill, I guess, is his ability to make the system work on behalf of the clients. Well, apparently it didn't work this time. Because I guess maybe we're in the accountability police era where back in the day you could get away with stuff, but today you can't. So they said when Jason Kidd, then an NBA All-Star and now a head coach in the league, was busted on a misdemeanor drunk driving charge after crashing into a phone pole in Southampton in 2012, it was Burke who was by his side and took on the case. The charges against Kidd were reduced to a simple violation. Burke also stood by Jason Lee, not from Hollywood Unlocked, the top Goldman Sachs exec, when he was charged with a SA by the East Hampton. Because he raped somebody. I had to mumble that because, algorithm. So he was charged by the East Hampton Town Police in 2013. He was eventually found not guilty after a trial in 2015. And in 2021, when Dan Gatsby, the husband and caretaker of restaurateur B. Smith, who had died the year before, crashed the Mercedes-Benz he was driving into another vehicle in Sag Harbor, badly damaging both, and then refused to take a breath test at police headquarters after being charged with drunk driving. It was Burke who got the call. Gatsby eventually was allowed to plead, as with Jason Kidd, to a simple violation, leaving him with no criminal record, an unusual move in a case where there was both a crash and a refusal. And it's funny how, like, maybe it was because of the time the cops who were on this, maybe it was just the fact that celebrities kind of get away with stuff because they're highfalutin, uppity, whatever, and it's Sag Harbor. But when you got this new police officer coming in, this rookie, he's like, I'm making an example out of you. You're not going to be out here getting away with murder. Like, you got to pay for your crime. And to me, I feel like with this whole thing of what happened to Justin, his lawyer, I feel like, got a little too cocky. And you being messy and with the allegations and, the arresting police officer and stuff, you talking to the press. And then you remember at one point there was a story about Justin's own lawyer willing to throw one of his own friends under the bus because remember, there was a friend that Justin said he was following them home. And when the cop pulled them over because he was swerving and pulled them over, and the friends was like, I'll vouch for him. They tried to say that the officer allowed the friend to drive the car back after Timberlake's arrest. So when you're willing to throw your own people under the bus and do whatever you can to skate by and not have to accept responsibility for the things that you do, to me, that's a problem. And Justin, you got to learn that, you being a white male and you having privilege, that when you do the crime, you got to do the time. And so your license is suspended. So all that coin that you got and that you make it from that current tour, you better get yourself a driver. You better get yourself a Bentley, a Farnsworth Bentley, or a Jeffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and have them tend to go a Pennyworth, what's his name? From Batman's butler. Get you one of those and have them drive your ass around everywhere. You need to get you a chauffeur and just drive. First of all, I would love to have somebody to drive me around all damn day. With on my payroll or whatever the case is. And it's like, if I need to go somewhere, because if you're gonna get behind the wheel, be irresponsible, this is the product of what you have to deal with. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do you think Justin got his just due? And were y'all gagging to find out all the details that was in that police report? I'm glad we finally got that. I would have liked for us to have gotten, like, I don't know if there was like body cam footage or whatever the case is, but at least we've seen the paperwork and the evidence and all the other stuff of, what the charges were in regards to Justin. When you sit up here trying to call the damn cop a liar, and the Sag Harbor police was like, okay, sir, now what you're not going to do is lie on my name and try to mess up our reputation because you're trying to save your client. Your client was drunk. He got behind the wheel. He was a hot ass mess. He refused the breathalyzer, and the paperwork is the paperwork, and the truth is the truth. And now we have it. So now we can all move on. So I say all this to say, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.